Welcome to this audio guide about the Mona Lisa, one of the most enigmatic and famous paintings in the world. You are at the Louvre Museum in Paris, standing before a work that has captivated millions of visitors for centuries. The Mona Lisa, also known as La Gioconda, was painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1503 and 1519, during the Italian Renaissance. This masterpiece is an oil painting on a poplar wood panel, measuring 77 centimeters high by 53 centimeters wide. Although it may seem small compared to other works in the museum, its impact is immense. Leonardo da Vinci was a Renaissance genius, an artist, inventor, scientist, and thinker who revolutionized multiple fields of knowledge. He was born in 1452 in Vinci, Italy, and died in 1519 in France, where he spent his last years in the service of King Francis I. The Mona Lisa was one of his last works, and he brought it with him when he moved to France. The identity of the model has been the subject of debate for centuries. The most accepted theory is that she is Lisa Gherardini, the wife of Francesco del Giocondo, a wealthy silk merchant from Florence. This is where the alternative name of the work comes from, La Gioconda, which means the joyful or the smiling one in Italian. However, other theories suggest it could be a female self-portrait of Leonardo, or even an idealized representation of Renaissance beauty. What most captures attention in this painting is, without doubt, its enigmatic smile. Leonardo used a technique called sfumato, which consists of blurring the contours and creating smooth transitions between lights and shadows. This technique, combined with the masterful use of aerial perspective, creates a sense of depth and mystery that has fascinated generations of viewers. The Mona Lisa's smile seems to change depending on the angle from which you look at it. Sometimes it seems to smile, other times it seems serious, and on occasion even sad. This effect is due to the way our eyes process shadows and lights under different lighting conditions. Leonardo exhaustively studied human anatomy and how light interacts with surfaces, and he applied this knowledge masterfully in this work. The background landscape is equally fascinating. Leonardo painted a mountainous and rocky landscape that seems to extend to infinity. This landscape does not correspond to any real place, but is an imaginary creation of the artist. The mountains and valleys fade into the distance, creating a sense of depth and mystery. This dreamlike landscape adds another layer of enigma to the work. The composition of the painting is triangular, with the figure of the woman in the center. Her hands are placed elegantly, one over the other, resting on the arm of a chair. This pose, known as the three-quarter pose, was innovative for the time and became a model for later portraits. The model's gaze is directed directly at the viewer, establishing an intimate and personal connection. The colors used by Leonardo are subtle and harmonious. Earth tones, ochres, and greens predominate, creating a serene and timeless atmosphere. The sfumato technique makes the colors blend smoothly, without hard lines or defined contours. This technique was perfected by Leonardo and became one of his trademarks. The Mona Lisa has had a fascinating history. For centuries, it remained in private collections, first in Italy and then in France. In 1797, during the French Revolution, the work was moved to the Louvre Museum, where it has been ever since, except for some periods when it was stolen or moved for safety during wars. One of the most famous episodes in the Mona Lisa's history was its theft in 1911. A museum employee named Vincenzo Peruggia stole it with the intention of returning it to Italy, believing it had been stolen by Napoleon. The painting was missing for more than 2 years, until Peruggia tried to sell it to an art dealer in Florence. The theft generated unprecedented media coverage and made the Mona Lisa a world celebrity. During World War II, the Mona Lisa was evacuated from the Louvre and moved to several secret locations in France to protect it from bombings. It was hidden in castles and abbeys, always under strict surveillance. After the war, it returned to the Louvre, where it has remained ever since. Today, the Mona Lisa is protected by bulletproof glass and is located in a room specially designed for it, the Salle des États. Each year, millions of visitors queue for hours to see it, although they can only observe it for a few seconds due to the crowd. The work has become a universal cultural symbol, appearing in countless films, books, songs, and works of art. Leonardo da Vinci's technique in the Mona Lisa has been exhaustively studied by scientists and restorers. In 2004, a comprehensive scientific analysis was conducted that revealed fascinating details about how it was painted. It was discovered that Leonardo used up to 30 extremely thin layers of paint, some only a few microns thick. This technique, known as glazing, allows for incredibly smooth color transitions and very subtle light and shadow effects. The restoration of the Mona Lisa is a delicate and controversial topic. The last major restoration was carried out in 2019, when the protective glass was cleaned and the room's lighting was improved. However, the painting itself has not been restored since 1956, when a yellowed varnish layer that had darkened the original colors was removed. The Louvre's conservators are extremely cautious about any intervention, as any error could irreparably damage this masterpiece. The influence of the Mona Lisa on later art has been immense. Artists from all eras have created versions, parodies, and tributes to this work. From Marcel Duchamp, who added a mustache and beard in his 1919 version, to contemporary artists who reinterpret it in different styles and media. The Mona Lisa has become a pop icon, transcending its status as a work of art to become a universal cultural symbol. Modern science has revealed fascinating secrets about the Mona Lisa. In 2006, Canadian scientists used laser scanning technology to create a three-dimensional model of the painting, revealing details invisible to the naked eye. It was discovered that Leonardo used a technique of pentimenti, that is, changes and corrections during the painting process. For example, the original position of the fingers of the left hand was slightly different. The mystery of the Mona Lisa's smile has been the subject of numerous scientific studies. In 2017, researchers used artificial intelligence to analyze facial expressions and concluded that the model is primarily expressing happiness, with touches of disgust, fear, and anger. However, the interpretation remains subjective and part of the work's charm. The Mona Lisa is not just a painting, it is a cultural phenomenon. It has inspired poems, novels, films, and songs. It has been parodied, venerated, studied, and admired. It represents the ideal of Renaissance beauty, the genius of Leonardo da Vinci, and the power of art to transcend time and cultures. When contemplating the Mona Lisa, you are seeing not just a work of art, but a frozen moment in time, a window to the Italian Renaissance, and a testament to human genius. This painting has survived wars, thefts, restorations, and millions of gazes, and remains as enigmatic and fascinating as the day Leonardo made the last brushstroke. The next time you visit the Louvre, take a moment to reflect on everything this small but powerful work of art represents. It is not just a painting, it is a symbol of human creativity, the search for beauty, and the power of art to connect people across time and space. Thank you for listening to this audio guide about the Mona Lisa. We hope it has enriched your experience and that you have discovered new aspects of this masterpiece. Art is a continuous journey of discovery, and each visit can reveal something new. Enjoy the rest of your visit to the Louvre Museum.